Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on this Friday night. I'm Jay Kohn. Janelle is off tonight. The fight against cancer takes center stage here in Billings this evening as the community comes together at the Relay for Life. Now, the Relay, of course, the signature fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. It brings thousands of people together to take action against cancer. And something new this year, near perfect weather for the big event. Now, the annual Relay is really a celebration of life, a time to salute those survivors who have persevered in their fight against cancer and to honor and remember those who lost their fight but whose spirit lives on. Q2's Zoe Zandora, Bob McGuire, Sammy Harrelson, a host of others are helping man the Q2 tent tonight out at the Relay at the West High track. Zoe, it's a big night ahead for everybody. Set the scene for us, if you will.
Yeah, Jay, that's right. The Q2 team is here on this beautiful evening to celebrate Relay for Life. I got Bob dancing right next to me. I got food trucks in the back, and we are getting ready. You have time to still come down here. Opening ceremony doesn't start until 6:30 p.m. And then from there, we got a nice little lineup. We have the Luminaria and Caregiver ceremony at 9 o'clock. I'll be hosting that. And then at 10:45, we have the closing ceremony. 11:15, we have fireworks. And after that, we're going to go over the results of how much we raised this evening at Relay for Life. Bob, this is a really special evening for you as well.
Oh, it really is, because my story started in 2005 when I was diagnosed with a sarcoma type of cancer, which is you can have it either in your bone or you can have it in your muscle. If it's in your bone, you're going to die. For me, at that point in time, I had it in a muscle. They were able to excise the tumor out of there, and then I had a new special thing then. They could radiate inside the wound, and it killed any bad guys that are in there, and so I have not had any repeat of that since 2005, and so I'm out 13 years out. I'm doing pretty good.
Well, that's an incredible story,
yeah.
And we're glad you did so well.
Me too. Yeah, and my wife was also. Yeah.
And it's sunshine. How's the weather looking?
Well, it's a little toasty. My car thermometer here at West High Track said 95 degrees.
Holy.
Up at the airport, it's a little warmer. It's a little cooler up there. It's 93 degrees. Let me show you. We put a graphic together here for you tonight. And excuse me, 93 degrees at 6 o'clock. Temperatures will be cooling throughout the rest of the day. I think probably by about maybe 10 o'clock tonight, you can see, go ahead and hit that, guys, and you'll see the temperatures will be cooling back down to about maybe 80 degrees by 11 o'clock tonight. So that's what we're having for your Relay. There it is. You'll see for Relay for Life at 11 o'clock tonight, it'll be 80 degrees, but mostly clear skies the entire night. Usually we have a couple of thunder showers to kind of cool things off. That's not the case this year.
Okay, thanks. Right. And you're going to be talking to some people later on, too.
Yeah, we've got a lot planned out here. And, of course, as everyone knows probably, that events are a little bit different this year. It's actually ending at midnight, not going into the next morning. So you don't have to stay up all night, which is kind of nice. We've got the fireworks tonight, and as Bob said, the weather's going to be perfect all day. No reason not to come.
That's right. Thanks, Sammy. All right, back to you guys in the studio.
All right, guys, we'll be heading out for more coverage of tonight's Relay in just a few minutes, so stand by. Elsewhere in news tonight, a Livingston man who shot at law enforcement officers, leading to a manhunt near the Bozeman Pass this week, tonight is being held on a $5 million bond. 37-year-old Shanzi Cole appearing today in Park County Justice Court. That's where he's charged now with attempted deliberate homicide, fleeing from law enforcement, and resisting arrest. Cole is also named as a suspect in an incident in mid-May that involved the theft of a motorcycle, some electronics and jewelry from a Livingston home. In that case, which included a high-speed chase from Livingston to Billings, Cole is facing charges of criminal endangerment and fleeing from police. Cole's next court appearance has been set now for July 30th. A rafting accident in the Yankee Jim Canyon on the Yellowstone River last night has claimed the life of a Maryland man. 49-year-old Everett Shirtloff from Ellicott City, Maryland, now identified as the victim of that accident. The Park County Sheriff's Office says the raft that Shirtloff and two other men were in capsized in the Yankee Jim Canyon late Thursday evening. Two of the men were able to get out of the high water. Shirtloff, though, was last seen floating downstream near the Joe Brown access. That search had to be called off last night due to darkness. When crews resumed the search effort this morning, Shirtloff's body was found a short distance downstream from where his raft had flipped. Also, some tense moments this morning along Interstate 90 between Billings and Laurel when a vehicle fire backed up traffic for miles. It happened just after 10 a.m. Look at this picture sent to us from a Q2 viewer today as a pickup truck caught fire, bringing all westbound traffic to a halt. Montana Highway Patrol Trooper David Hankin says mechanical issues with that truck sparked the fire. It was a 2012 Dodge Ram pickup, but complicating the situation, fireworks that were inside the truck that fueled the flames and then helped spark a small brush fire in the median. Emergency crews were able to put out both of those fires quickly. We're pleased to tell you the male driver of the truck was the only one in the vehicle at the time and was able to get out safely. Westbound traffic on I-90 had to be diverted off the interstate at the Zoo Drive exit as crews worked that scene. It took nearly an hour for that scene to be cleared and get traffic flowing normal once again. Wind power development in Montana taking big steps forward in the coming months and years. Tonight, MTN's Mike Dennison brings us an update on a number of wind projects in our state, taking aim at bigger markets outside our state borders.
Stacy Gazvoda is the project development manager for Haymaker Wind, which is planning a 300 to 500 megawatt wind farm on farmland north of 2DOT.
Haymaker is a fantastic project from an environmental standpoint, from a wind resource standpoint, and from access to transmission. We're near the Colstrip transmission line. It should be at the top of every Pacific Northwest utilities list.
Haymaker is one of several large wind power projects on the drawing board in central and south central Montana. Other sites are near Harleton, Bridger, north of Reed Point, and north of Colstrip.
The big action happening in Montana energy development right now is certainly in renewable energy development. We have over 3,000 megawatts of renewable energy projects under development today.
That's several $1 billion of potential development, and it's all in rural Montana.
The good thing about wind development in Montana is that it is an opportunity to spread the wealth a little bit to rural America, to the rural communities, low-income rural communities in Montana that need it the most.
However, this power would be exported outside Montana. Developers must contract to sell their product to out-of-state utilities and ensure that enough transmission is available to deliver that power. These projects are starting to seek contracts now and aim to start producing in the next 2 to 4 years. Intermittent wind power also needs to be paired with balancing power. That's where the massive Gordon Butte Hydro project near Martinsdale comes in. Developers are planning to build a pair of reservoirs, one on the butte and one below, connected by an 18-foot diameter pipe. Once completed, this $1 billion project can quickly generate hydropower to fill in the gaps of nearby wind power.
As we look to export more and more wind out of Montana, Gordon Butte is ideally situated to provide that integration and energy storage that can unlock thousands of megawatts of renewable energy development here in Montana.
The project by Absorca Energy already has a federal hydropower license and hopes to start construction as soon as next year. So, as you can see, when it comes to energy development in Montana, wind power and renewables are poised to start taking on a much bigger role. In fact, the only question at this point may be, how big? Reporting from Gordon Butte in Marr County, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Thank you so much, Mike. You can see Mike's full report on the status of the Montana wind power scene on our website right now at ktvq.com. Here in Billings, the Parks Department today officially opened a new playground like none other in Billings. Mayor Bill Cole on hand to help cut the ribbon on the new inclusive playground at Hawthorne Park, located on Janey Street out in the Heights. This inclusive playground features handicap accessible play pieces that enable kids of all abilities to play together. A new playground made possible by a $125,000 grant from the Land and Water Conservation Fund. Up next on tonight's 5:30 News, a beautiful day to save some lives. In a moment, we'll take you back out to the West High track and check out Relay for Life. All the events still just minutes and hours away. And in sports, Scott catches up with MSUB women's basketball head coach Kevin Wooden, taking a look back at the March Madness Cinderellas and what they have planned for an encore.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Kohn and Janelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire and sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.